This is the Pulsar Oryx LRF XG35, a thermal monocular with a built-in laser rangefinder designed for spotting wildlife in complete darkness, fog or dense woodland, and I've got it for a short time to put it through its paces. I've mentioned on the channel a few times that I would really like to get into wildlife filmmaking, and I've started building out my wildlife filmmaking kit based on some of the other YouTubers that I watch, and I currently have this Blackmagic 6K full frame, a Sigma 150-600, which is fantastic, but having good camera gear doesn't really mean much unless I can actually find the wildlife, and there isn't anything more demanding and more difficult than wildlife filmmaking. I thought the photography side of it was hard. With wildlife filmmaking, you can't just snap a shot, you need to hold a shot. And last year I worked on a documentary for a company in which I needed to get wildlife shots, and a company actually reached out and asked if I wanted to borrow one of their monoculars to help out. Now unfortunately in that documentary I didn't get a chance to use it, but when they found out that I was interested in wildlife filmmaking just on the whole, they lent me this monocular to give a test drive. What a thermal monocular will do is it picks up on heat signatures. Now, many of the animals you're going to wind up filming don't operate in favourable conditions. They may be nocturnal, they may exist in dense woodland. So what a thermal monocular will do will pick up on heat signatures in those difficult and challenging conditions. Now, I am new to using thermal monoculars, and it was really cool to get this out of the box, and I did quickly discover there is a little bit of a learning curve because this is feature packed. I will break down the specs in a little bit, but I will walk through my kind of first impressions when I got it. It is a little tank. It is so well and solidly built. On the back of the camera you've got your eyepiece, on the front you've got a little lens cap that can flip off and you can see your lens behind it. Now I presume these two devices here are what do all the magic in terms of thermal imaging, and one is probably a laser as well. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. On the bottom you've got your 1/4" mount, you've got a nice rubberized grip. There is an option to add a lanyard on there as well, so you can wear it around your neck. You can also add other devices onto the side of it there as well. On top you've got your button array, so you've got your on button, your camera or video recording modes, laser rangefinder, you've got your menu button in the middle. This button on the right hand side zooms in, and the button on the other side you can actually change your heat signature modes as well. Now most of the buttons on this device, if you long press them or short press them, they will do different things as well, so we will break that down. So let's get into the specs. Inside the device is a thermal sensor. The heat sensor captures fine thermal detail. This means it can detect very subtle temperature differences, crucial for spotting camouflaged wildlife. The magnification is 2.5 times optical and up to 20 times digital, and the field of view is 12.5 degrees. Now, when you start out doing, say, wildlife photography, many people often go for like the longest lens that they can, and they'll keep the lens all the way out. That actually makes it really difficult to spot wildlife. So having a thermal device with a wider field of view is actually really useful, and the fact you can actually zoom in up to 20 times again is very useful. Now when you zoom in on any optical zoom device, if it's a digital zoom you will lose quality, but it's really great for help spotting that wildlife, and ultimately this is to help me hone in on finding that wildlife on my camera. The display is an AMOLED 1024 by 768 resolution. Now the display is crisp and clean and clear. It works well in night and in daylight as well. I've not really had any issues with it, and the fact that you put your eye right up to the device means it blocks everything else out as well. So I always like having an EVF, even if I'm shooting on my other cameras. EVFs are much better for help focusing in on what you're trying to do. The laser rangefinder works up to 1500 meters and is a class 1 laser at 905 nanometers. Now, I'm not sure what all that means. All I know is that I didn't expect to use the laser rangefinder aspect of this very much, but I've used it loads. It's really useful to be able to estimate how far an animal is away from you. Also, if you're going to be filming something pretty crazy like bears, you probably want to be a good distance away, so it could be a good safety feature as well. The device uses a dual battery system, so one that comes in the box and you stick into the back, and the other one is built into the device itself. I really don't think you're going to be running out of battery. That is extremely generous to have so much power going through this thing. So really, really useful. And finally, its magnesium body is IP67 rated, which means it's going to be really, really good in the elements. It's pretty much just weather sealed against rain and against rough conditions. A really sturdy piece of kit. I really can't stress how amazing this feels in the hand. I just love sort of like holding it and sort of like messing around with it. In terms of ergonomics, you hold it a bit like you would hold like a handy camera, and your fingers naturally fall across the top buttons on the top. Now that we've gone over the specs, I'll walk you through some of the modes. I'm not going to walk through every single mode because there's quite a lot going on there, but I'll walk you through some of the key modes that I've been using. Now this blue button here is your power button. Short press will turn it on, a long press will turn it off. So underneath the power button, we have a little camera icon. And when it's not recording, if you hold it down for a period of time, it will switch camera modes. So it can do stills or it can do video. Now I'm going to talk about the video mode. Now in video mode, a short press will start recording, a short press again will pause recording, and a long press will stop recording. And that's really useful to know because naturally, being a man, I just didn't read the instructions at first and I thought I couldn't stop recording it. But really, I just had to dig into the manuals a little bit. Now underneath, you've got your a little arrow. This is your laser rangefinder. Now, to turn this on, you just give it a little tap and it will start giving you readings about how far things are in the environment. If you hold it down longer, you can enter scan mode as well, and then you'll start getting changing readings, which is really, really useful. Underneath, you've got a series of 3 buttons. In the middle, you've got these 3 lines. You press that quickly and it will bring up a quick menu which you can change your contrast and things like that. But a long press will open up a deeper menu. And in that deeper menu, one of the options I changed was I turned on the smoothing mode. And that's because I might be using this footage in conjunction with my wildlife footage. So I want the footage to look a bit smoother essentially. Now on the left hand side of that, you can press this little button down for a few seconds and it will change from white hot to black hot. But you can actually change one of those heat modes in the menu. So you press the menu for an extended period of time, you're going to scroll down the menu till you see like a canvas, and then there's loads of options in there. Underneath this row of buttons, you have got this knob. This will adjust your focus essentially. And then finally, you've got the eyepiece at the back. And the way you want to calibrate this for your eyes is look at the little numbers at the bottom of the screen. And then you can turn this left or right until the display becomes sharp. So once that's, I'm guessing that would be the equivalent of a diopter on a mirrorless camera. So you use the little numbers on the bottom of the screen, turn that until the numbers look sharp, and you should be good to go. Those are the main features and I'm really impressed. It's such a nice bit of kit. I previously went out and I was looking for deers, and I've done this quite often with my camera, trying to get like nighttime shots of deers, and it's really, really difficult. But last night, for example, I was able to pick out 2 deers and a badger and a rabbit as well. And I was really, really impressed that I could do that, because this is the sort of stuff I would ordinarily miss out on. A lot of the time you think you're out there alone, but often there's things going on all around you. It's just that our sort of limited human senses just can't pick up on them. And that's where you can get an advantage with something like this. Areas of improvement, I think I would love to see a micro SD card option. So somewhere where you could put a micro SD card in. On the bottom, you've got an option to use your USB-C charging cable on the bottom, but other than that, there's no other ports. So being able to install a micro SD card would be useful for adding extra memory, and then if you're a filmmaker like me as well, it'd make it a bit easier to share that footage to your computer. Now of course you can plug the device straight into your computer as well, but that would be a nice touch. And one thing I need to mention before I start wrapping this up is that occasionally you'll hear a little clicky sound, and that's basically the microbolometer inside of the camera refreshing. So there's nothing wrong with it. At first when I had it, I thought, oh, have I done something to it? No, it's completely normal for a thermal camera to make that little sound. It's just doing what it needs to do. So I would absolutely love to take this on more wildlife adventures with me. So for example, I'm planning on going back to Brownsea Island, possibly this year. Next year, I'm hoping to go back to Skomer Island. And I want to make some more in-depth wildlife documentaries. I've just not had the time to do it, but now I'm really investing in that side of my game. The only problem is this is on loan to me. And the company who lent it to me, they've got no say in the review. They just sent it to me to test out and let everyone else know about. I really love this bit of kit, and I think if anyone is doing wildlife filming or photography and they are trying to track down quite difficult wildlife, it can really help make the difference between getting the shot or missing the shot. I've really enjoyed using it. If you're into photography, filmmaking or wildlife, have you considered a device like this to help up your game? I really think it can make the difference between getting a shot or missing a shot. If you have looked at these devices, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep notified of future videos. I'll catch you all next time. See ya.